Greetings once again, heroes and villains alike. Duuz-Diz-Din back again with My Hero Academia, where previously it was Bakugo to the rescue. With his beaten, broken, and battered body, Bakugo literally jumps into the fray as All For One plans on splitting All Might in twain, as Deku is trapped in pitched combat with Shigaraki, with the vestige of All Might slowly taking more and more form within One For All. Deku grows more and more worried as Bakugo races in, grabs Deku's hand. Deku uses his gear shift ability to launch Dynamite, who uses his cluster to speed up. But it's not just that. It is the hopes, the dreams, the prayers of everyone watching. Gran Torino, Melissa, Agapar, Sukauchi, and all those who watch with bated breath. And it is by their hopes and prayers combined. It is not Deku who twists fate. It is not All Might, but Bakugo himself, who defies All Might's fate. And, in Bakugo's own mind, redeems himself since he feels responsible for what happened at Kamino Ward, the last time All Might was able to fully fight with One For All. But is this truly the end? Has Bakugo truly done it, or has he just delayed the inevitable? Join me as I find out, won't you? We pick up with the stunned expressions of All Might, Shigaraki, All For One, Deku, and the resolute face of Bakugo. In the dreamscape, All Might asks, "So this isn't when it was supposed to happen, Night Eye?" And the visage of Night Eye says, "No, it was, All Might. This was where your dream died. Fate was reshaped, you see. What's true is that the dream did end here. My Hero Academia, number 405, the final boss." Night Eye says, "And your promise is intact. This is where your dream died." So the promise outweighed the dream. All Might channels the words of so many people as he says, "But everyone knows the old master is meant to die after passing on the torch." Night Eye says, "You've read too many comic books, Toshinori Yagi." I feel like that's Horikoshi throwing some shade. All Might says, "This is what I'm making my own hallucinations say." Night Eye says, "You are a hero, but you're also human. You can't possibly die so readily." Everyone watches and says, "What? A blasting quirk?" As we see the gauntlet, the explosive gauntlet that All Might was going to use, that definitely was the Bakugo, goes flying off of All Might's wrist. Bakugo and All Might hit a nearby rooftop. Well, nearby, somewhat. The Look and See kid says, "Isn't that him? The one the League kidnapped?" Another says, "What was his name again? They tied him up at the sports festival." Sukauchi watches speechless. Oh, it's the two kids from the Two Heroes movie. What was their names? Mahoro and Katsuma. And the young girl Mahoro calls out, "Bakugo!" Aw, damn. I'm so glad I watched those movies. Oh, man. So between Melissa and now the two children, I'm waiting for what's Rhodey's moment gonna be. Bakugo stands upright as All Might's on the ground. He looks up saying, "Bakugo kid, are you okay?" Bakugo says, "That's my line. You banged up old bag of bones." And then he vomits up blood because, again, he should not be upright. Like, nothing about his body should be intact right now. Wait, what? A voice calls out, oh, you're shitting me. A voice calls out from inside of Bakugo, saying, "I believe that is my line as well." Bakugo continues to vomit up blood. All Might has a look that says, "The hell am I looking at?" And from the stitches on Bakugo's chest, so yes, everything here basically destroyed. Edgeshot emerges from Bakugo's chest. God. And All Might says, "Edgeshot?" The thin sliver that is Edgeshot says, "I forced you to expel the pooled blood within. That should grant you some relief." The remaining part of him breaks off. Is Edgeshot gonna... He dies from this, right? Because you broke off part of your body. I will be shocked if Edshot lives through this. What's left of Edshot hits the ground and says, your marred organs and broken bones, I use my own body to mend them with bowl knots, courtesy of the hidden Hakamada style. Those repairs will not come unraveled, yet every breath you take will inflict hellish agony. Your body demands not action, but rest. Bakugo holds his throbbing wound and says, yeah, got it. Thanks for bringing me back, senpai. Edshot says, I only held you together. Despite my success in forcibly restarting his heart and lungs, the spark of life would not return. Edshot's thinking of this himself. My Nimpo, 1,000-sheet pierced zenith, is a transformation that eats away at my very life force, at a point beyond my limits. As I was forced to weigh my own life against Bakugo's, I saw it rushing through his bloodstream. None other than something produced by Bakugo's body moments before his death. A tiny bead of sweat. Oh, so the last remaining bit of his own power created like some kind of force within to help resuscitate him? That's some bullshit. I'm sorry, that sounds like bullshit. I kinda wish you wouldn't have explained it like that. Edshot says, I only held you together. What brought you back was the power you've honed. All Might looks at Bakugo's utterly destroyed arm. Bakugo says, anyway, I assume you'll be tangling with All for One, but who's the glowing runt I'm about to destroy? I assumed you'd be tangling with All for One. Okay. All Might says, right the first time, kid. That is All for One. Your arm, please. I'm paralyzed by blood curdle. Wait, he's still paralyzed by blood curdle? I don't know, it feels like you're moving at least a little bit. Bakugo turns to him, and All Might tells him, this won't do its original job anymore, but it can still serve as a brace. And as Bakugo holds out his arm, All Might takes it, bestowing onto him Great Explosion Murder God Dynamite. Bakugo looks at the mechanics on his wrist, his hand, his arm. All Might falls to the ground saying, I wish I could give you more. But Bakugo smiles a genuine smile. Meanwhile, All for One is gazing at this scene, veins bulging from his face. He turns saying, no, thinking, no, that can wait. After coming this far, One for All and my brother will be mine. That requires an uncompromised hijacking of Tomura's all-too-powerful will. I'll have to grant him my quirk, and me with it. If only the me within him already could have wrestled away the reins. Oh, how it boils the blood. How can it be that the gears have gone so awry? And we get a montage of all the battles that have happened up till now. Best Genus, Edshot, Mirako, Hado, Sun Eater, Lemillion, Endeavor, Hawks, Jiro, Tokoyami, Gale Force, Kami, Mount Lady, Gigantomachia. He's even thinking of Mineta and All Might. This fills All for One with even more rage. And suddenly in comes Bakugo racing in, saying, I'm the final boss, All for One. And Bakugo, this kid, ignites, holding his hand to All for One's face since he was distracted going for Shigaraki. Bakugo moved in and is just lighting one last one up, and you can see the explosion ripping through Bakugo's body. Kid, at this point, you're just killing yourself. As All for One thinks, the wind was meant to blow my way. And then he thinks of the second user of One for All. A lot of people thought that was Bakugo, like in the future or something like that. Huh. Is there some relation there? Couldn't be. All for One thinks of him, and that's the last thing he thinks of as Bakugo lets off a massive explosion that sends All for One to the ground as Bakugo shouts out, One for All couldn't keep you in the ground, but we'll finish the job and then some. I don't know how I feel about that last little bit of Bakugo's sweat resuscitating him. I mean, unless it gave like that last little bit of impact with one final explosion to just set off and just poof, get his heart beating again, but I don't know. That's a bit of a stretch. Not sure if Edshot is fully dead right now. I'm kind of fine with All Might living. With that little conversation he had with Night Eye, I'm like, you know what? I'm okay with All Might living through this. With him actually calling out, yeah, dude, like, doesn't the old mentor always die before the end? And then it's just like, you read too many comic books, dude. Because if it wasn't for the fact that All For One has constantly gone on and on about comic books and how, you know, I want to be a Demon King like in the comic books and yada yada yada, it's just like, oh man, that's kind of rich. I really don't know how I feel though about Bakugo being able to get back up. Like, we're going way beyond what it feels like he should be able to survive. But then again, we're talking about a series where originally the main character would break his limbs every other week, so who am I to talk? I don't know, it just constantly feels like we're skirting the line of how much Bakugo should be able to do. Because with his quirk, I can believe he could propel himself, and even get that one explosion in. But if he starts doing some like really crazy shit, I'm gonna be like, no, I'm too far past the point of being able to believe this. And I'm like, look, his heart was ruptured. An ambiguous stab is just like, you should have lost a kidney, but you did specify an organ being hurt, so I'm gonna believe that maybe it went clean through. But no, we saw his heart done get exploded. That's really putting my suspension of disbelief at like a high. And typically, I have a pretty damn high suspension of disbelief. I don't know. I'm not used to being this critical about something. Just does not feel like Bakugo should be able to do too much at this point. I mean, unless Edshot like really just mended everything. And if that's the case, it's just like, Bakugo, dude, he told you to rest. Man pretty much sacrificed his body for you. Oh well, maybe I just need to get over it. We'll see what happens, so let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How much are you expecting from Bakugo past this point? Let me know in the comments, like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the ride, and until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you later. Till then, bye-bye.